Now, let me ask you now when I look at Kane's fight coming up with Francis, and then I look at Francis's last fight with
Curtis Blades.
with Curtis, yes. And Curtis is a good. He's a different fighter, obviously, than Kane, but he's gonna have he had this similar game plan to make like you're gonna strike and get a hold of him, and he's very good at the takedowns also. How nervous you gonna be when when that bell rings?
I'm gonna be really nervous, man, because I wanted the Ngannou that fought Derek Lewis. God's sake. I'm like, God damn it! Why couldn't we get that guy? No, now we got a more pumped up Ngannou who's been in a world title fight situation and blew it there, and then he choked big time with Derek. Then he comes back and he destroys a great fighter. You know, well, not necessarily great, but a guy that could be great. Curtis Blades could be a great fighter, but he's a good fighter, and he destroyed him. So I'm like, for us, it's like I always say, it's the most dangerous fight for Kane. I don't care about anybody else. I mean, of course, we'll never fight DC. So DC, outside of DC, this is the next toughest challenge for Kane.
It's similar in a sense to the JDS fights where, chances are if Kane gets a hold of him, I feel once he gets one single leg, one takedown, I think it's trouble. I think it gets to the second round, it's just a different fight. It's all the threats. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Francis is always a threat.
Sure,
but it's cut in half. You know what I mean? Because that's how exhausting Kane is on people. What I find really, not to get all over the place, what I find really fascinating is that DC is such an amazing fighter and champion, and he's considered one of the greatest ever. And if you hear him talk about Kane with their training, he 100% says Kane is the best.
Yeah.
What could you say about that and their training together, Javi?
Well, it's kind of really fun watching them train together. I mean, it's amazing. I'll tell you how competitive DC is. One day I wanted to see DC's mind and work his mind, so I tell DC, Kane's going to take you down. And he goes, what? I go, Kane's going to take you down when you're sparring. He goes, he ain't taking you down. I go, yeah, he's going to take you down. Right? And I wanted to see what DC would do. And she goes, oh, no, he ain't taking me down. They sparred. You know what? Kane didn't take him down.
Oh.
He did not take DC down in the sparring. And he's looking at me like, I told you. I know.
Hey, do you know how much reach is Kane giving up? Oh, I'm sorry, Javi. How much reach is he giving up to Ngannou? Do you know?
I have no idea. I probably a mile. I don't know. God looks like got huge, long arms, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know we're giving a lot in power.
You are, yeah. And this is an amazing fight for Kane to take, coming back after such a long layoff. I'm guessing his health and everything is good.
Yeah, it's great. He's actually, believe it or not, he's stronger than he's ever been. He hits pretty good. His speed's always good. His cardio is off the charts, as we know. His mentality is the number one thing, and he wants it. He really wants to get back in the game and prove he can dominate again. So, it's a great step. It's a big challenge. And the thing about Kane is he doesn't choose his opponents. He never cares. I care though, because I want the easiest fight to the road to the title,
Yeah, it's actually it's a 6-inch. Our guy looked it up, a 6-inch advantage. And can you give any kind of an update on Khabib's suspension?
From what I know from talking to Khabib, he's pretty much very loyal to his guys. And the thing about the suspension is he doesn't care. He's like, whatever, you guys, they want me to come back and do an anti-bullying thing. He was the one being bullied. He's not going to do that. Right. Screw them. That's his attitude. He ain't going to fight for him. He says he's not going to fight in Vegas. And for me, that sucks because I love gambling. But shit, you got to stick with what he wants. And, he says he won't come back until his guys are off to suspension. And I kind of have to agree with that. He's sticking to his guys because all they did was try to defend him. And if anybody should have got suspended a year, it should have been him, not his teammates that went there to try to help. For God's sake, his cousin didn't do anything but try to jump over the cage, and he gets, Connor sucker punches him. And what does he do? He just defends himself. So now you're in trouble for that much time.
Right.
It doesn't make sense at all. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't look good when the guy. When he jumped over and when he hit Conor from behind. And first of all, let me tell you.
That part I don't advocate at all.
Yeah, that's that. I think if it wasn't for that, That's really what put it over the edge. But I agree 100%. I said it last week. I felt that Khabib was the one getting bullied. I felt they broke him in a sense where he held everything into the fight, and then Conor just taps out. He still had some more in him. He's like, "That's it? You're saying, Uncle, you're done?" And it's like now it's time to be the tough. I don't know. Don't get me. I get started on it. People think I'm anti-Conor.
You're 100% correct on that. That's what happened. And, and I was training Khabib for 2 months out about, okay, he's going to come after your dad. He's going to come after your family. He's going to come after your country. Yeah. I expect all of this because that's what he does. He touches all the buttons. And I thought he was going to come after me, but I wasn't sure because I'm thinking, well, shit, there's really nothing to come after me for. So I'm thinking, but I was ready for him coming after me too. But realistically, it would have looked stupid coming after me. There's really nothing bad you can say about me. It really wasn't. I looked at the whole scenario.
Well, and was Khabib prepared for that at all? Because he seemed like it really got to him, and I understand it's a very personal stuff. But knowing that going in, and knowing you're going to fight Conor, and knowing, the disadvantage to it is it's insulting. And it's enraging. The advantage is it probably puts in another, God knows how many more pay-per-views because people either want to see Conor win or see him get his ass kicked. So was Khabib prepared for that at all mentally, even that you had talked about it?
He was as prepared as he could be, to be honest with you. I don't know anybody else that would have held it together like he did. I probably wouldn't have. If I was a fighter and I was fighting him, I probably would have attacked him at the press conference and all that just because of all the things he was saying and, wouldn't let you talk and just keep talking, calling your dad a rat, calling your dad a terrorist. He loves his dad. His dad's everything to him, so that was a big sore subject. And you can't ever do nothing about it. That I wish fighters would just have a rule of thumb to stay away from those three subjects, I just don't think that family, religion and country are things you should ever, as a fighter, you should never talk about those things. And I think all fighters should, but of course, it's a free country. You can do what you want.
Sure. It's just very low. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, it's very low class. It's just very low class. I don't care how much money you make. You could be a millionaire how many times over, but it just shows it's very low class to talk about somebody's family, and you know what I mean, innocent people. And then I just think it's just a real a dirtbag thing to do, personally.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I wish people wouldn't do it. But it doesn't matter what you and I think, Matt. They're going to still do it. That's just, and they're allowed to. So, and they're never going to be able to. No one's ever going to be able to put stop to that because of the freedom of speech. So you can't stop it. No way.
Yeah, it seems like, I guess there are certain things that just get to everybody. The only one who seems like he wasn't really offended by anything was Nate. He didn't seem like any of it got to him. But everyone else, like Jose Aldo, you could see, he came in the 13 seconds he was so angry at Conor. So there is something strategic to it, I guess, when it works.
Oh, no, it worked. It was a good strategic plan. That's why as soon as I knew we had the match, that's why every day I talked to him. Every day, 2 or 3 times a day, I would say, what's going to happen? What's he going to do? Yes, coach. Yes, coach. And then, so, like, for instance, the press conference, right? Khabib says, coach, what do you think? I'm going to show up like a professional on time. If this guy does not show up after 15 minutes while I'm doing my talk, I'm leaving. And I said, good. Because this is not about him. I'm doing my responsibility. He wants to be unprofessional. He can do that. And that's exactly what happened. Conor showed up late and Khabib took off.
And what do you think about the fine that they gave? That seemed like Khabib a little bit steep, the fine that they gave him in Vegas.
I think they did that, and I think it's unfair, and I think they did that to show a president that don't do that. And okay, I get that part. You can't jump over the fence because that's bad. So I'm not going to condone that. I can't. We were definitely, Khabib was wrong on that. Everything they did up to that point, how they handled it, I think they handled it wrong. They wanted to send a strong message, so they used Khabib as the goat on that one, scapegoat. It's like, hey, you're the guinea pig we're going to do this on. So I don't think they did it right. I think punishing them, yes, I think all that, and but how they did it, and I just think nobody got hurt. It got broken up within 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah,
and nobody got hurt.
Was Conor a little more effective on the ground defensively than you guys thought he would be? Did he do a little better on the ground than you anticipated?
I thought he was going to do as good as he did. He actually did better. Their game plan was better than I thought. They came out with a really good game plan, and instead of waiting for us to come at him, was what we were waiting for, he came at us, and we were prepared for that too, but not as much. We worked more on the counter defense that Conor was going to throw at us, and he didn't. He came at us, so that was really good on Conor's part. I thought, and I still think that guy's a great fighter. He's a great fighter.
Sure.
And so I knew we were up against a great fighter.
Yeah, I think sometimes people, because he talks so much, people with the same mistake they made with Ali, where he talks so much that he's not an effective fighter, but he is a good fighter.
Yeah, and it's the same thing like I was saying with Al, Freaking Al is like when we got Al, everybody was, oh, you got Al, and I go, well, you guys don't understand. That's the toughest matchup we could have gotten. Al's no joke, and I said that, and I'm so glad that he showed everybody that he is the legit thing. Al's no joke. And he proved it.
Man. Yeah, no, I love Al. And I'll tell you right now, you got me thinking, if he ever got that fight with Conor, like I hope he does, I'd be fucking attacked. I'd be crucified.
Yeah.
Conor would attack me. There'd be short, fat, bald guy jokes all day long.
Yeah. I think you'd be the one he attacked.
100%. I'd go 8 Mile on him, though. I would do like Eminem and 8 Mile. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm fat, I'm bald, I eat pizza. I'd just go that route.
You cauliflower pizza.
Well, I do eat cauliflower. Hey, Javi, you ever tried cauliflower pizza?
No.
Listen to me. Hey, buddy. First of all, I've been doing gluten-free. Listen, he might want to know this, guys, because you diet on and off like I do, Javi. That cauliflower pizza, dude, I'm telling you right now, it's a game changer. And there's certain gluten-free pastas that are fucking delicious, like the Ronzoni. I'll tell you next time I see you.
Right.
I don't want to bore everybody, but it's so good. Try the cauliflower pizza.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too. Now, if Khabib decides in solidarity to sit out, what are your thoughts on them possibly doing an interim title fight? I mean, I think Tony Ferguson has got to be next in line. So who even fights for an interim belt? You don't make Ferguson fight for it again. I mean, has that been spoken about at all, or is that something you worry about?
No, I don't worry about it. The UFC is the boss. They always make the right decisions for the company, not necessarily for the fighters, but they make the right decisions for the company. And because of the 1-year suspension and historically what they've always done, they're going to do an interim title. And, I mean, honestly, you can't do an interim title without Tony being involved in it. At least asking Tony if he wants to fight for the interim title. And then this is the way I look at it. It would probably be Dustin and Tony for the interim title, if not Al and Dustin for if Tony declines, I think Al and which one call it should be fighting for the title.
Now,
Dustin, yeah.
Now, do you see Tony as the next logical fight for Khabib?
Yeah, if you're looking at it from a point of sports, yeah, they're hands down. It has to be Tony. But if you're looking at from a prize fighting, no, he's not, because he won't make the most money. But he deserves it from a sports point of view, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, who do you see then? If not Tony, who do you see?
Well, for me, you got to understand it's a prize fight, right?
Sure.
So we're always looking for the biggest prize fight. I mean, who's the biggest prize fight for Daniel Cormier? Brock Lesnar. So who do I want? Brock Lesnar. So who's the biggest prize fight for Khabib again? For me, and I'm not speaking for Khabib because Khabib doesn't think like I do. I'm thinking Conor rematch only because I think that'll do great numbers again, and so it's a lot of money for him. So I look at it from that point of view. But from the point of who deserves the title shot,
sure,
it's definitely Tony.
Well, has Khabib said he did not want to fight Conor again? I appreciate you being honest about that. That's the fight you'd like to see him take, because it's definitely the biggest money fight. Went into the 4th round, which is better than a lot of people thought Conor would do. I mean, has he spoken about that, or has he indicated that he might be open for that?
He has, from everything he said, he doesn't deserve it. So he's not down with the Conor thing from what I read and what he's kind of indicated to me.
But would he be willing to fight a guy like a Ferguson, who is the deserving contender, for a lot less money than he would get for Conor?
Yes, he would, because he's not about the money.
Okay.
He isn't. I am. Ali is, for sure. But no, not Khabib.